So, hello, everyone. Thank you for tuning in. Y'all know my mama.
Hey, J-Birds and the rest of the folks that's watching.
Okay. And this is my cousin, Tasha.
Hey, y'all.
Tasha! Her cousin, my niece, another beautiful family member right here.
So, y'all meet my family little by little. Not little by little.
Inch
you know, this inch. So, we were talking, it was 2 weeks ago.
Oh, it was 2 weeks ago.
Tasha came over. Her and my sister was hanging out and stuff. And then we were just sitting around just talking as people do. Chit-chatting. So we was over here talking 2 weeks ago about all kind of stuff. And then as Tasha was talking, I was like, Tasha, would you be willing to like come and talk on camera? And she was like, sure. So we planned it for today. However, the conversation we had that day was so amazing.
All
but
about relationships and life.
Yeah.
Overall, but relationships centered.
But I didn't have my eyebrows on, and I didn't have no lipstick on, and I wasn't dressed to be on camera. So I was like, I can't record because I don't look like me. I look like I don't ragamuffin.
She looked like her. She looked like natural, beautiful.
Yeah, I just hadn't planned. I didn't have a bra on, so I didn't plan on being on camera. Yeah, I'm real.
Who
they say
commando.
I'll be free balling it.
Free balling it.
Yeah, and I'm like, well, sometimes, in the summer. So when we didn't record that part, but I was like, okay, we're gonna get on camera and just talk this about love, life, divorce, separation, widows, all that, because I feel like so many people have conversations, but sometimes they don't discuss. Okay, how do you feel when something that you plan to work out goes a complete different way, and then you have to kind of just start from scratch and restart your whole life, and like how do you navigate through that? And so that's what today is about. Okay, so I'm not gonna have too much to say because I'm not married, and I have
marriage.
Yeah,
remember,
I have stuff.
Relationships overall, whether you again breakups, marriages, divorces. I personally, between a divorce and a widow, so it was all that. Divorce and moving on from that, everybody know. Well, maybe not. I was a teen bride, whole nother story.
But no, let's not say that. My mother was with my biological father, married with me and Veronica, so even though she was a teen bride, she, it was still teen mom.
Yeah,
she had it was all that stuff.
Like teen, as in I was in my senior year of high school.
Right.
But I still finished high school, so again, that's why.
And went to college. Okay.
And went to college.
Okay. And went to all the colleges. Got all the degrees. All that stuff.
So again, marriage, divorce, remarried. Separation.
To the right one. to the right one. I'm saying. Okay, I'm being petty. So, which one of y'all want to start? Because I don't want to, impose. So we were talking about.
Well, Tasha's piece as we were talking was about divorce, separate, that kind of stuff.
It was just, Jay Lee actually just asked if I would just come on and just talk about, I guess, my experience. But I don't remember you specifying, like, what part of my experience we were going to discuss.
Right.
Mm-hmm. So, I
think it was I think it was more of a thing of us all being able to continue on, regroup, recover from bad breakups. But sometimes women, men too, you're in a relationship, that relationship for whatever reason ends, and you figure life stops. Mm-hmm. And for both of us, we know today, as you see us sitting here, vibrant, women of God, working, living, enjoying life, we can move forward. So I think it was more that part of it, to be helpful. You know what I mean? To help other people to know you continue on. It is life after the end of the relationship. It's not the end of the world. We don't go and sit in the corner and sulk. We continue to move forward.
But let me be honest in reference to, and thank you for bringing me back to reality on that, because it is life after, and there is a moving forward, but not always right away. Even the strongest woman or man can have or experience major setbacks. So me, I've always been rooted and grounded in the Word of God. Love God with all my heart. I am a faith-filled woman of God, and I believe the best of everything and everybody. And you would really, really have to do something so severe to me in order for me to even believe the opposite of a positive, because that's just how much of a positive person I am. But in my experience, which really brought on this conversation and today's opportunity to be a part of this video, was me sharing, my experience, which I had not really shared with anybody. And this is really the first time that I'm going to be sharing it with a whole lot of folks. And, my family.
I forgot.
My entire family is not really a part of this conversation, but I guess they will be if they watch the video.
Put this on a chair. This is that just in case.
Oh, to make sure.
Okay,
It just clips on.
Will it clip on the flapper?
Yeah, it'll clip. Yeah, right there.
Okay.
And hopefully the sound is still good.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, and so for me, I got married to a person that I actually met online. Something that I wouldn't necessarily have done because I've always been a faith-filled woman, and I just believe that whomever God had for me, He was going to present me to Him and Him to me, and God would allow things to flow. Well, I allowed some friends to encourage me to explore other avenues of meeting people, and dating online was one of them. Did that, and one thing led to another, and I actually ended up meeting a man that I ended up getting married to some years later. This particular individual presented himself in such a way that he was everything that I had been praying and believing God for. A man of God, a man who has his own relationship with God, a man who was very active within the church, and it wasn't just talk, it was visible. I mean, I literally saw these things. I've actually been engaged and involved with, his relationship with the bishop of the church, and everything else. And so it was like everything that I had ever prayed and asked God for, I felt like I had in this person. Even his conversations would be so powerful to me, and it would just always make me feel like, wow, I can't believe that I finally, been introduced to the man that I've always asked him and believed God for. He would always say things, like, I can't stand when my friends are doing this to their wives, or, cheating on their wives, and all these other things that would totally go against what a marriage is really all about. So I'm like, wow, he really has his act together. And because of his relationship with God and his Christian walk, that's what attracted me to him. A lot of folks thought that because his exterior was so attractive, because he was the tall, dark, handsome,
always look
for. Nice physique, all of that stuff. A lot of people thought that was what attracted me to him, but it wasn't. It was his inner being, that spiritual side of him is what really attracted me to him. And we dated for a couple of years before we actually even, got married. So it wasn't like a quick thing either. And after we got married, the person that I knew when we first got, when we first met and when we got married was the same person until we moved away. We moved away. Some changes happened within my job. I had an opportunity to relocate to a different state and reestablish, myself. And so, and that was through the encouragement of my husband at the time to do this, and so uprooted, our home, moved away to another state, and
broke the family's heart just with her leaving. Because strong, literally the niece and all, son in the family, but still strong, almost backbone part for the family. So when the whole move came about, you can attest, folks were happy for you for your opportunity, but definitely sad to see you go.
Yeah, I think one of my aunts actually told me it was almost like experiencing a death in the family, and I was like, wow, really? That really hit home for me to hear that. I was like, and don't mean to take a sidebar, but that really helped me. And even with what you just said, when my family says things like that, that really bless me, because it's like you don't really know how you impact a person's life, even when it's family, until something comes out of their mouth. So thank you for that.
You're welcome.
Yeah, don't make
it's
me
real.
cry.
I'm not gonna make you cry, but that's real, and you know that because you've heard that from everybody. So it's not just talk; it's real.
Yeah, and that's a blessing for me to hear that too, and it's actually encouraging. But relocated and got down to, and it was Mississippi that I relocated to. So totally different environment, totally different state, totally different everything. But I am the kind of person, again, faith-filled woman of God. I believe in I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. So at the end of the day, I didn't miss a beat. I moved to Mississippi, and it was just like, what? It was the same as if I was here in Michigan. So I just, kept going. So anyway.
So when she said she moved to Mississippi, sold a house, packed up, literally,
yes,
up and gone. So not just like, oh, I got a new job and I'm moving. I mean, no, literally. Everything here kind of gone, literally starting over, new state.
Starting over, left what I thought was going to be my forever ever home.
Beautiful home.
Yep, just had purchased a home a couple of years beforehand in Farmington Hills, and white picket fence and everything. And I had never even talked about ever having a white picket fence, but I had one, And so, I mean, and when what happened is that my entire department was eliminated. And when that happened, we had a couple of different options to explore. And so, even like I said, with all of that, moved to Mississippi. Got there, and what I thought was going to take place did not, in reference to the same go get 'em attitude that my husband had here. I thought he was going to have that there. Well, that was not the case. When we got to Mississippi, he took on a whole different personality. He became a person who did not work, was not trying to work, was not looking for work. We had talked about a couple of different things that we wanted to explore in reference to establishing our own business. And then once we got the business up and running, I could retire from working for someone else and have folks working for me. That was our ultimate goal. And so once we got down to Mississippi and, I started working, I was traveling for the first few weeks when I got down there. So it wasn't a whole lot that I could do in reference to getting our business up and running. And we were really just looking more so into a cleaning business to start. So once I got back, we were setting up meetings to have conversations with folks to find out what we needed to do. And so because I was already working a lot of hours, it was up to my husband to get things up and running, and that be his, process every day while I continue to work this other job until we can, get things, where we wanted them. Well, that was a challenge because he didn't want to step up. So
this man that was a go-getter,
yep,
doing all those things, now you're uprooted, brand new location. He's different, and the things you thought would be happening are not happening.
It was like everything was left on me, to move things forward. So not only was I working my full-time job, I was also put in a position where I had to have conversations with people after already working 12 hours a day, all day long, and it was to the extent where, my hours would be from 7 o'clock in the morning to, 7, 8 o'clock at night. And so a meeting to even, get the ball rolling had to take place after I got off work. So we scheduled a meeting for like 8 o'clock, this one particular night to meet with these people. And so we're there at the table. So I had already said, okay, you know what, I'll support you, but, this your meeting, you run it. So, people are talking to us and everything. And so when it came time for us to have our, conversation, my husband's looking at me like,
giving it on to you.
Yeah, you got it. I'm looking at him like, really? Well, if you know me, you'll never see me sweat. I'm always gonna make it, happen. That's just my personality. So, as tired as I was, I shifted gears and I just went on in and had the conversation that, we needed to have, or I should say I needed to have. So went on ahead and had it. And so we left there. From there were still things that needed to happen. He didn't follow through. So here I am working my job on the phone in between times trying to get things situated so that we can move things forward. Never happened. Okay, so after that, there were a couple of other opportunities that presented itself. Never followed through on them, And so I'm like, what, something's wrong with this picture. I'm coming home every day. Didn't take anything out to eat. Didn't cook anything. House not clean. I'm coming in, I'm having to either stop and pick something up to make sure we eat.
Right.
or unthaw something that's gonna take all night. And then cook, so we're gonna be eating late. And I'm cleaning. I'm like, something's wrong with this picture. So I eventually started saying something like, okay, so what's going on? He's talking about something. It's hard down here. You can't find no work down here. You can't. And I'm like, you can't find work. It's work everywhere. And so I started.
And you guys were attempting to establish your own business also, but he wasn't even being
proactive in anything.
that.
Yeah, just nothing. And so I started looking for work for him because I'm like, okay, until we can establish our own business, you need to start back bringing your money into the house. Yeah, we did. It wasn't an understanding or a conversation that we had. Whereas Tasha was going to be the breadwinner, for
you're not carrying the household.
Yeah, this household. I mean, hey, that just was not the case. So I started looking for jobs for him, and I would text him, the information like, okay, here's some leads, follow up on them or whatever. And so there was always one excuse after another. And one of the things that I left out that I did not share was that he worked under the table because he had some injury a few years ago. And the reason I'm saying some injury is because he is so dishonest. I don't know what's true and what's not. But I do know that he had some kind of an injury, whereas he was working up under the table and had been working up under the table for years. So he has a guaranteed income, but he also has his under the table income, which was really good money, coming in. So yes, and so imagine going from that here in Michigan to nothing to supplement his income when we were in Mississippi. So that was a major hit for us. So he started saying things like, there's not enough, work here. There's not enough, work here. And so he was out riding his motorcycle. That was in my name. He was out driving his truck. That was in my name. He was out doing everything up under the sun, even cheating. That wasn't in my name.
Right. That was not in your name.
Yeah. I didn't authorize that one, And what happened with the cheating is once we first moved to Mississippi, like I said, I had to get on the road. Not even a few days after moving to Mississippi, I was on the road. I was on the road for a couple of weeks. Well, we moved to Mississippi in October. One particular day, and this was in January, right after the New Year. I remember him saying to me that one of his friends was getting married, and he was having a bachelor party, and everybody was flying in to Louisiana for the bachelor party. Okay. That's not unheard of. You've heard
bachelor party, people go away to do their thing.
Yeah, you've heard of that. So I mean, that wasn't a big deal to me. And so he had already been prepping me like a couple of months beforehand. So I was good with it. Well, I remember the day that he was leaving. That morning, he was saying, I really hate that I'm gonna leave you here. I'm like, what? It's not a big deal. You're only going for the weekend. You already told me about it. I'm good. Go have fun or whatever. Yeah, enjoy.
That's what we do. Supportive wife.
Yeah. I mean, to me, I ain't had nothing to worry about.
Right.
It's all good. Well, that Friday, he left that Friday morning. That Friday evening, it was texting going on. Well, I pay close attention. I should be able to talk to my husband. I shouldn't have to text to have a conversation. And then, there is like gaps
in between you and him.
Yeah.
I thought he was, you and him texting, no, hey, babe, what's up?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, no phone call.
Okay.
It was just texting, and it was like gaps in between the texting. So, that Friday night, it raised a red flag for me, but I'm like, okay, you know what? Not going to stress.
Me and doing what they do at bachelor party settings.
Yeah. So I gave benefit of doubt. But then that Saturday morning, it was just, a tugging in my spirit. And it was, again, texting. So, no, I didn't get a phone call, good morning, honey, or anything like that. It was texting.
Love you.
Yeah. So that was a red flag for me. Because I'm like, okay, why are you texting me? How come you're not calling me? That's a problem for me.
Okay.
I don't care who you with. I'm your wife. You're supposed to acknowledge me. Right. Because I'm going to always honor you and give you, the utmost respect.
Right.
So no matter who I'm with. So that was an issue. And so then when I tried to call him, he didn't answer. That was a problem. So I'm sitting there in the bed. This was a Saturday morning, and it was just a toiling in my spirit. And I'm like, okay, go upstairs and see if he left his computer. So I did.
We always have a feeling.
Always got a feeling. Always got a feeling. So I go upstairs. Computer was up there. So first guess, I got it. The passcode, which I don't understand why he had a passcode anyway.
You guessed the password.
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
wow. Okay.
Yeah. I don't understand why he had one, but he had one. And I guessed it. And women, it's good to pay attention. I mean, even when they put them codes in them phones, you better look over there and pay attention.
See where those fingers are going.
Yeah, you better. If it's not on mute, pay attention to the tones because you can play them back. I'm just giving y'all word to the wise. I'm giving you some wisdom, and I'm telling you, it's for a reason. But I go up there and I'm looking on his computer. And I'm searching his history. I'm searching everything. I'm searching his emails, and really didn't find anything. Oh. And even on his iPad, couldn't find anything. But that experience made me remember a few incidents that we had. Whereas one evening we were talking about going to the show. Okay. And so we were upstairs in his man cave, and my phone and my iPad was downstairs. But his phone and his iPad and his computer are all upstairs where we were. So he was like, well, go downstairs and get your iPad, and so you can look it up and see, what movie we're going to see. I'm like, why?
Yours right here. I can use yours.
Right here. You
got a phone, a computer, and an iPad. I can Google
everything, And so he's like, Tasha, go on downstairs and, get your iPad. I'm like, Calvin. His name is Calvin. I'm like, Calvin. I mean, hey, tell the truth. All right, so I'm like, Calvin, why when you have everything up here? I'm like, you might as well just go ahead and just look it up. So he pulls out his iPad and he pulls up the screen for the movies, for me to look and see which movie we want. So when he gave me the iPad, what was on the iPad was a dating site. Oh. The screen was up. Okay. So I'm looking at it, and me, I'm like, okay, am I going to fake like I don't see this? Am I going to say something? I mean, I'm just being honest, you know. Well, I said something. I'm like, okay, so you might want to look at this again. So I gave it back to him, and he looked at it. He was like, well, what did you do? I'm like, don't you
see how they'll
fix your lips? Don't you fix your lips? I'm not the naive one now. Don't fix your lips to put this one on me. I said, I didn't do anything. You gave it to me like this. And it was a dating site that we had met on.
Oh, wow.
Yes. And so I gave it back to him. And so at that point, it was no movies, Oh, yeah. So I went on downstairs, took my clothes off, and I got myself in bed. Here he comes downstairs with the iPad. Tasha, this is the guilt trip that he was trying to play on me with a straight attitude. Tasha, you mean to tell me that you didn't pull up anything on his iPad? I said, Calvin, don't you come down here with that lie. Don't you come, that's your iPad, it's not mine.
Right.
So I'm like, don't you put that lie on me. I'm like, I didn't touch anything. You pulled up the movies. And I said, so that evidently was something that you had already been looking at, And so he tried to manipulate the truth. It didn't work, so he went on back upstairs. I don't even remember if we had any further conversations about that, but you're just moving forward. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, and this goes back to me finding out that he was literally cheating. And it goes back to me talking about the bachelor party with his friend
in Louisiana.
So that was like another reason why those red flags started coming up.
We have to sometimes pay attention because I think sometimes in relationships we're happy, we want to stay that way, and sometimes you see signs, and as women, like you said, you feel something with the Louisiana, but we feel something, but we don't always act on it because again, we're going for the benefit of the doubt, and we want to be happy and in a good relationship.
Yes, be in a good place. And so because of that experience, when he was texting instead of calling me, it was like, Tasha, pay attention to the signs, don't be naive. And so that's what made me get up, go upstairs and check everything out or whatever, and again didn't find anything, but wheels are still turning, and it was like, okay, you know what, y'all have the same y'all on the same account for y'all cell phone bill. This is the Holy Spirit talking to me. I'm just going to be honest.
Well, and that, it does work like that.
Leading and guiding me into all truth is what was going on. I'm going to tell you. And so just sitting there, and it was like, okay, I went online. I had my tablet in my bed with me. And so I went online because there was literally never, ever did a cell phone bill come to the house. And if it did, he got it before me. Okay. So I couldn't see the details, the bill, who we called and who we texted, and I couldn't see any of that.
He's taking care of that bill himself.
Exactly.
Worry about that.
Exactly. So, out of sight, out of mind. Didn't worry about it. But I'm like, okay, I got online, and I'm on our account. Okay, so there's a passcode for the account for our Verizon, service. So I'm sitting up here and I'm trying to use the code, and I got into the account, and
we be detectives, don't we?
Detectives, be detectives. Yes, you have to. You shouldn't have to be.
But when we do it, it makes sense because I think women have these skills that we don't know we have until we need them. And you like, why would I guess the back? Because God sent you that intuition to like, you know what? No. Think of what he likes. Think of what, and it works. Yeah. It works.
Yeah. Whenever you see like just suspicious behavior, I mean, that's really when you really need to just pay attention, because you just never know. Maybe it may not be something major then, but down the road it could possibly be. And I'm not trying to say that you should always, be suspicious, but I'm just saying,
pay attention.
Pay attention. Just pay attention, because you just never know. Because I would never have thought that my story would be what it is, and we'll get to it.
And that's what this is all about. Just moving on and getting over. Go on, Tasha.
Yes. And so I'm on our Verizon account, and I'm seeking and searching, and so I look for phone numbers with the most number of minutes that was dialed the most. That was my search criteria, and I found 3. Okay, but one of them was like really, really engaged conversation. I would be up for work 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning. He would be on the phone with this person. I would be in the bed 8:30, 9 o'clock at night. Well, probably a little bit later because I wasn't getting off work until about 8-ish. So probably about 10-ish, 9:30, 10-ish, somewhere around in there, on the phone with this woman, and would be hours of conversations, not just a few minutes, hours. And even with the texting, it would be a lot of texting. And so that particular day, I'm sitting up in the bed. He still had not called me or anything. He's texting me. So I stopped even responding to his text messages because I'm trying to understand what's going on. And so I ran it. I called the first number that was on our phone the most, the one where he was talking to this individual in the wee hours of the morning and late at night, and even throughout the course of the day. I mean, it was just several conversations. She was talking to him more than I was. I mean, honestly, it was more interaction with him and her than it was me. She never answered. And I made an assumption that he was probably with her because she never answered. Yes. And so then there was the other number that was on there the most. I called that number. That lady answered. So I asked for him, and she paused, and then she said to me, "You should see your facial expression."
Because I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
She was like, "No, she didn't." Yes, she did. So she answered, and so I asked for Calvin, and she said, she paused, and then she said, "I don't know what you and Calvin have going on, but keep me out of your business," is what she said. And she hung up. Yes.
That's odd.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which means she know he was married.
Okay.
And she like, okay, you found out, you calling me, but don't talk to me, talk to your husband. But heifer, you knew because you only say that if you know the jig is up. And
because it wasn't. Going on, you have the wrong number because you called in that for Calvin.
Yeah.
So
right, you got the wrong number. No, that's not what she said.
She said because she knew.
Yes. And so after she hung up, on me after she said that, she texted me, and she said that I don't know what's going on, but I don't want you to call me anymore. And I said, "Oh, you don't have to worry about me calling you anymore." I said, "But let me tell you why I called." I said, "I called you because Calvin is a married man, and when I looked at our phone bill, I saw numbers on here that I did not recognize, and they had a lot of activity on it." I said, "So that's why I'm calling, because I'm trying to find out who this person is." I'm like, and based on your response, you told me, who you are. I'm gonna be honest, and so I told you, you told me who you are. And so she's like, "Well, like I said, keep me out of you and Calvin's business, and make this your last time calling me." I was like,
she about to make Detroit come out. No.
I said, "Oh, you don't have to worry about it." I said, "Again, you gave me what I needed. You don't have to worry about me calling you no more. Yep, you know. And so from there, I'm still on our account in Verizon because I'm determined to find out who this first person is with all this activity. Mm-hmm. Yes, and I was really trying to find, because I saw the phone numbers, but I could not get to the text messages because that's what I really was trying to see. I was trying to see the text message conversations. And so it would tell me, like, it would show me the text messages, like how often, like the time and date and stuff, but it wouldn't give me the details. Yes, and that's what I was looking for, the details. And so I was just going in and around the account, just, you know, clicking on a few things, just trying to, you know, figure stuff out. All along, I didn't know that he had the account set up where he would get alerts if anybody was in the account and doing stuff.
Shut up. Oh, he's a...
Yes.
So
he knew.
He gonna call you in a minute.
Yes. So he did. Yes, he did. So I ended up getting a phone call. And so he was like, so what are you doing? I said, nothing. I did. I said nothing. He's like, just nothing? I'm like, well, you know, I said, I'm on my tablet. He's like, on your tablet doing what? And so I was actually just looking at our Verizon account. He's like, looking at our Verizon account for what? I was like, well, I mean, I don't know. I said, I just realized we never had a phone bill come to the house. And I'm like, I just want to see what's on it. You know, see what's on it. Like what, Tasha? I said, hey, I'm just trying to see what's on it. You know, and I said, just like this Locate Me app, you know, because I had just clicked on that Locate Me app. So I was like, just like this Locate Me app, you know, I'm trying to, you know, see what that's all about. The Locate Me app. I mean, what you need to know about the Locate Me app? I said, I don't know. I said, it's just something that came up. I'm trying to figure out, you know, what is this all about? You know, and so he says, oh yeah, I forgot to tell you that, yeah, everybody wanted to go to Memphis to check out the historical area where Martin Luther King and all of them, you know, all that activity occurred or whatever. He said, so we all rented cars and we all came over to Memphis. Okay. So first of all, everybody flew in from Michigan to Louisiana. Okay. From Louisiana to Mississippi is a 2.5 hour drive. So from Mississippi to Memphis is like a 3.5 hour drive. So you mean to tell me y'all drove all the way from Louisiana, you passed your house, and you went on to Memphis? I'm not dumb. Okay, so that just didn't make any sense to me. So at that point, I said, okay, still hadn't said anything.
And this thing went from Friday into Saturday.
Yes,
y'all did all this.
Yeah, okay. This all Saturday morning. Yeah.
Lord.
Yep. So, got off of the phone with him. So then I was just led to go to the dating site. Went to the dating site, and I had to create an account.
Right. Because you only need one.
Because the profile that I had, I mean, all you got to do is reactivate it. Okay. But he was quote unquote dumb enough to block my profile. So I couldn't see. So even if I got back on and I looked him up, I was not going to find him because I was blocked. Okay. So I created another profile.
We smart women around here.
Thank you, Holy Spirit. You know, so I created another profile and I looked up his usernames that I'm very familiar with. U.S. Bodyguard 696.
No, you are not telling us. This her story, okay?
Yep, U.S. Bodyguard 696. So I looked it up, and who had a profile up? I still got it on my phone. I can pull it up. I promise y'all I can pull it up because I took a picture of it. Had a profile up looking for friendship.
Oh.
You ain't married. You ain't ever asked.
Happily married because you guys were good.
I thought.
You guys were good.
I thought. Profile. Looking for friendship. He's an honest man. You know, he just wants someone to listen to, someone to listen to him listen to them, be, you know, good friends, and whatever it leads to, you know. Had on there, he was an entrepreneur. I mean, yeah. All that stuff.
Anything about God?
No.
Okay.
Nope. Okay. I don't remember him saying anything. Now, this time, he didn't have anything about God.
Okay.
Nothing.
Okay. I just thought about that. Yeah. I know that was... Again, he had a relationship with Christ.
Yes.
That was real.
Yes.
But okay.
Yeah. Nothing about God this time. But in the profile that was out there when we met, he did.
Right.
He did, to your point. And so I sat there in my bed and I got my phone and I took a picture of his profile page. and then I texted to him.
We smart and petty a little bit.
Yeah. And then not only did I text him that, his profile picture, I text him the text message conversation that the one lady who I talked to, who ended up texting me to, I sent him her text communication as well.
You could tell from the phone number who's who? I'm not, like, from her phone number, you knew it was her?
Yeah, because I called her, remember?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the second lady, the second number, I called her. And so after I called her.
You know the number.
You know what? Yeah. You know, yeah. So I sent him that text message conversation. Okay? My phone rung quick. And I would not answer. Because at this point, you ain't going to do nothing but lie. I already know, the truth. So I didn't answer. He called and he called and he called for 2.5 hours. Ooh. And I just would not answer. Within about 3 hours time frame, who come walking through the door?
Cause he wasn't nowhere. He was there. He wasn't nowhere.
Come walking through the door. Come in the house walking fast. Tasha, I know I was wrong. But you, I'm like, don't you come in here talking about some but you, cause but you didn't do nothing. I didn't do anything. I did not cause you to do what you've been doing. I'm like, so don't come in here with no lie. You ain't gonna come in here and tell the truth. Don't come in here with no lie. So he sit down on the bed. Well, I'm sorry. I promise, nothing happened. I'm like, I'm like, I went and I looked at when he first started this activity. Okay. He started with the lady that had the most activity. That started November 1st. We had just moved down there at the beginning of October. So not even a month. So you already had a hidden agenda. Yeah. A hidden agenda. You started talking to her November 1st. That's when you started this activity. And I started having flashbacks of him telling me, he made friends down there and he was going to hang out with them and, he's meeting up with this person to do this. I mean, it was just, I started just thinking about
stuff together.
Yeah.
He was doing stuff.
But he was probably just going out meeting women from the dating site is what he was probably doing. And then, whoever this woman was, he actually established a relationship, And so that was like the beginning of all kind of major red flags for me. For you. But me being, a forgiving woman, I did not believe in divorce. I did not want a divorce. I wanted to see if there was an opportunity for us, to work things out.
For your marriage to work. Yeah. Definitely we want that normally. You know what I mean? We do want that. And
Yep. So I tried to hang in there. That particular day was not a good day when he got home. That Sunday they had some kind of a parade or whatever, and so he came down stairs and he was dressed in his motorcycle clothes or whatever. And he was like, "Get dressed. We going for a ride." And I'm gonna be honest. It turned me on. I'm just gonna tell the truth.
Hey, look, that was your husband, so that's okay. That's that's real.
Yes.
Again, and this is about relationships and things that happen to go on, but still knowing we can still move forward. So that's all right.
Yes, I mean, because it was like that authoritative side. Right. I love a man who has confidence, and is not afraid to take charge.
Exactly. And so he felt like he messed up. Yeah, he's trying to fix it. Yes. Like, come on, we gotta go somewhere real quick.
We got to do something.
We have to do because I know I messed up. Yeah, and you pissed off. Yeah, let me try to fix it.
But even more than that, I think from Tasha's point, being married, the fact that he came in as the man and took charge, get dressed, we're about to go. Yes, that does do something, and because as women, we want to protect her. Yeah, we want to protect her coming in and do that. Stacy would joke, and my hubby, her uncle, he would talk to me. We would joke, and he would. Well, remember he would talk about being like the caveman and them grabbing the women by the hair and just dragging them on the lawn or whatever. Almost that type of take charge attitude. Of course, not doing that, but doing that. So you appreciate that. Yeah, take care of you.
Yeah, I mean, and that's really what it made me. I remember experiencing like a warm feeling. Like when he did it, I was like, okay,
right. But let's go. Let's go.
So I got on up, showered and everything, put on my Harley Davidson gear, my boots and everything, and put my bandana around my head. I was on the back of the bike with him.
With your husband.
Yeah, there with my husband, and we met up with all of the other people. We were actually in a parade that day. I didn't know that was what was going to happen.
Okay.
But he was a part of a parade with some other motorcyclers that he met down there, and so we rode with them and everything. So I'm still emotional behind stuff, but I'm gonna still be who I'm supposed to be. And so when we got home that evening, it was just like we had a conversation, and he understood that. I mean, it's gonna take some time to heal.
Yeah, we gotta get
but I need to know where you stand. Because if you need to experience other people, then maybe we don't need to experience each other anymore. And he led me to believe that he wanted our marriage. And so because he wanted our marriage, I was willing, to be forgiving.
So wait,
and now that's the part.
So that's part one.
Yes.
Okay. We're going to pause it right here.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to be done part 2.
All right.
Yes.
All right.
So, see y'all in a minute. Peace. Oh, my y'all going to do peace.
Oh, I forgot. I'm sorry. Peace. Yeah, when she do peace, I forgot. We all do peace.
Okay.
Peace.